Hello there, how are you? If you happen to come across a roaming lion, will you run away as fast as you can? Unlike everyone, I know a man of God who is not afraid of lions. Let's discover more about him. I encourage everyone to watch this episode and listen carefully. Samson grew in Manahedan between Zorah and Eshtaol, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord from Dan they witnessed Samson's great strength. Samson went down to Timnah and saw there a young Philistine woman. When he returned, he said to his father and mother, "I have seen a Philistine woman in Timnah. Now get her for me as my wife." His father and mother replied, "Why must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines to get a wife? Isn't there any acceptable woman here? Look, she is the right woman for you." Samson went down to Timnah together with his father and mother. As they approached the vineyards of Timnah, suddenly a young lion came, roaring toward him. Grrr! Roar! Grrr! The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, so that he tore the lions apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. Sometime later, when he went back to marry her, he returned aside to look at the lion's carcass, and in it he saw a swarm of bees and some honey. He scooped out the honey with his hands and ate as he went along. When he rejoined his parents, he gave them some, and they too ate it. But he did not tell them that he had taken the honey from the lion's carcass. Remember in the previous episode, the angel told to Samson's parents, "Now see to it that you drink no wine or other fermented drink, and that you do not eat anything unclean. You are barren and childless, but you are going to become pregnant and give birth to a son. Now see to it that you drink no wine or other fermented drink, and that you do not eat anything unclean." However, in this story, Samson scooped out the honey from the dead lion with his hand and ate it. And for this reason, Samson sinned against God. Because Samson didn't obey God's command as delivered by the angel was very clear. It was commanded not to drink wine or other fermented drink, and not to eat anything unclean. Even though Samson was unfaithful and disobeyed God's command, God is still faithful in His promise despite Samson's disobedience. God did not take back Samson's great strength. Our memory verse according to Habakkuk chapter 3 verse 19a reads, "The sovereign Lord is my strength." Habakkuk chapter 3 verse 19a. Just like Samson, we have the strength and power to conquer our fears and anxieties, only if we ask it through our constant prayers. We can also overcome our sickness when we start trusting God. Once more, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon Samson. He struck down 30 of their men, stripped them of everything, and gave their clothes to those who had explained the riddle. Burning with anger, Samson returned to his father's home, and Samson's wife was given to one of his companions. So he went out and caught 300 foxes and tied them tail to tail in pairs. He then fastened a torch to every pair of tails, lit the torches, and let the foxes loose in the standing grain of the Philistines. He burned up the shacks and standing grain together with the vineyards and olive groves. Because of what Samson did, 3,000 men of Judah went down to the cave in the rock of Etam. They bound him with 2 new ropes and led him up from the rock. As he approached Lehi, the Philistines came toward him shouting. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. The ropes on his arms became like a jarred flax, and the binding dropped from his hands. Finding a fresh jawbone of a donkey, he grabbed it and struck down 1,000 men. Samson became a judge and led Israel for 20 years in the days of the Philistines. The story told that in the vineyards of Timnah, a young lion came roaring around. Who was the man that tore the lion apart with his bare hands? A. Samson, B. Zacchaeus, C. Zechariah. Now, let's reveal the man that tore the lions apart with his bare hands. It was Samson. And the correct answer is A. Samson. What moral lesson have you learned from this story? Samson gave all his strength to glorify God. like what did the angel told Samson's parents, that Samson, he will take the lead in delivering Israel from the hands of the Philistines. Samson showed an example that we too can offer all our strength. We can also be valuable in using our talent to honor and glorify God, because the sovereign Lord is our strength. She sent word to the rulers of the Philistines, and the rulers of the Philistines went to her, but he didn't know that the Lord had left him, and his strength left him. Let me die with the Philistine. He is faithful and just to cleanse us. He fell in love with a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah.